everyone, welcome to HCW podcast. On tonight's show, DP will provide us with our virtual review of Smackdown. We'll go over our live experiences at Clash at the Castle and Raw review. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello everyone and welcome to the HCW podcast. My name is RGX, joined as always by Frozzy and Rate Wrestle. How you doing, guys?
Very tired still from weekend, I'll be honest. What an absolute manic weekend it's been. I went back to work on Monday and my boss was like, "How was your weekend?" And I was like, "Can I have another day off to recover, please?" That's how hectic it was. Yeah, apart from that, good.
How about yourself, Rate?
Yeah, everything's going well. Like, the weekend was very good. I've just noticed I got paint on my finger from putting the bins out. Segue into that. And also, where's my FPL title shot? I'm calling it out now. Where is it?
Not only in FPL, but like across the board. You went, what, 5 and 5?
I won the JRPL as well. I went there as well.
Oh, did you? You went back?
Yeah, I won everywhere. A bit more step.
As if you went back, no way.
Yeah, I'm undefeated there, supposedly. I didn't realise.
That's right, you and Nate had an unbeaten tag run to start off. That's when I poached you when I poached you to join the Stone Collective for LWPL.
Yeah, I'm still undefeated. The longest winning streak was sort of 6 now or something.
That's wild. I forgot that you had... I remember when I first joined the JRPL and it was Nate and Rate was just becoming a thing. So the videos were always hilarious when Scott and Bearmy were saying it.
And look at us now.
Yeah, such humble beginnings. So at this point, I'm going to virtually welcome DP, who very kindly recorded the Smackdown review for us. Because as you all know, we were extremely busy this weekend. So take it away, DP.
So yeah, this is the review for Smackdown. This is the go-home show before Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, done on the 2nd of September. We kick things off straight away with a match. So there's no promo, barely any commentary. We kick things straight off with a Viking rules match, which basically means no rules. Between the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, and the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. So first things first, the ring is set out like a Viking longship, with the head of the ship being where the ramp is. We also have shields on one side of the ring facing the camera, which is also a nice little touch to represent what the ship would look like. So we get the entrances, and then we follow on with the match itself, which I thought was a good enough match. It was definitely a good match, but a little bit hindered by the gimmick of the Viking rules. So we get a lot of back and forth between both teams, having parts of control of the match. We get a spot where Kofi is wielding Mjolnir, which is like Thor's hammer, but it's painted with a sort of pink purple tint, pink purplish tint, with like a unicorn horn on it, so like the New Day Mjolnir hammer, I guess. And he hits Eric with a hammer from the top rope, which I thought was a nice little spot. We get a spot a bit later on where Woods hits the Zoidberg elbow from the second rope. We get double pins from the New Day. And then we get the spot near the end of the match where the New Day are wiped out completely with shields. So they literally like hit the wooden shield, hits Kofi, hits Xavier with it, and they then hit Ragnarok, which is a double powerbomb, a tag team powerbomb, on Woods through a double table set up by ringside, and then they pin him. 1, 2, 3. The Viking Raiders win your Viking rules match in what was fairly predictable, in my opinion. But we move on. We're reminded that tonight's theme is the whole theme of the entire show tonight is that we're celebrating Roman Reigns' 2 years of being WWE champion. And throughout the show, we get a few packages of video packages like showing Roman's reign and other champions before him. But we go to backstage. We see Sami Zayn, who's preparing to be the host for the Reigns party. He's with the Usos backstage. Jay mentions that Heyman should be there. Sami agrees, but he says that they should be focusing on that and that the party is more important. Jay basically just he says that you're getting real comfortable around these parts. You're getting really sort of chummy with us. You're not blood. You're not bloodline. You're not blood yet. And Zayn says that he tries to explain it all, and then Jimmy cuts it off, basically, any animosity between the two of them, and just says, let it go in. Sami has this all planned out. Yeet. Which then Sami replies by saying, yeet. And then he writes yeet in his notebook. Following from that, we get an interview with Shayna, who just says that she's gonna basically tear Liv limb from limb until Liv's crying, and then she read the news about that women's champion. Here comes Liv, who just says, "I won't lose. In fact, I'll rip your arm off." Shayna laughs. Liv says she's done with this, and then walks away. One note I did make note of was Shayna mentions that Liv will be crying, and Liv's makeup looked like she had been crying. She has that weird makeup underneath her eye, which I thought was a nice little touch. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it looked alright. Moving on from that, we get a vignette from Karrion Kross, who mentions how Drew McIntyre can reflect on the humbling that he suffered last week from Karrion, how Roman can celebrate being 2 years champion, and that his opponent, Mr. Gulak, Drew Gulak, will have a moment that will haunt him for the rest of his life. And then he says his catchphrase, I'm assuming, which is, timelines are about to change. Sure. So moving on from that, we get the actual in-ring debut of Karrion Kross and Drew Gulak. The in-ring debut of Karrion Kross versus Drew Gulak. We get start things off. We get a good camera shot where Scarlett is miming to the lyrics of the theme, where she's she's acting out and being all mysterious and whatever, and then she throws herself down throws herself down, and it reveals Karrion right behind her, which I thought was a nice little touch because I didn't notice him at all behind her until just then. But getting into the match itself, we get Pat McAfee on commentary saying, "Is that Drew Gulak? Is that Gulak?" Which made me a bit laugh because he's not been on TV in ages. It's just a fun little touch, I think. But the match is just Karrion smash, and he wins with the full body sleeper, making Drew tap out. That was we then get a segment with Ronda Rousey, who mentions that. She mentions that she's got a letter from WWE Global Headquarters, and that she wants Adam Pearce to read it out. So out comes Adam Pearce. Adam is already playing backtrack, and he's already saying whatever that letter says, that has nothing to do with any feelings that we have. It's not personal, nothing like that. Ronda says that it feels all personal to her. Basically, the letter says that she's been excused of her actions, she's paid her fines, so with immediate effect, her suspension is lifted. Throughout the entire thing of Adam reading the letter out loud, he pauses and stops because he's sort of reading ahead, and he's in disbelief, which I thought was a nice little touch. But basically, he says the whole letter. Ronda is happy. Adam then proceeds to say that he has a problem with this because he doesn't agree with the actions of the executives. He's basically saying that it was his duty to call the police on Ronda, and Ronda comes back with duty. It just felt so out of place and very not needed. for Ronda Rousey, who is, the world's most dangerous woman, perhaps. But it didn't sit well with me. I said, duty. But it was just stupid. Yeah. After that, Ronda says that she's the most recognisable female athlete ever. Adam Pearce has a meltdown, which I thought was quite good. He basically tells everyone about the pressures of his job, how he's there day in, day out, first one in, last one out, how he's got to deal with everyone's problems and no one asks him about his problems, about his family, his kids, his pets, his whatever. He lashes out and says that while he's not got a problem with anyone in general, he's got a problem with Ronda and her attitude and her actions. And he then proceeds to call Ronda the biggest bitch he's ever met, which turns Ronda sour, and Adam's immediately in regret. He's like, "Oh no, I didn't. Perhaps I'm being unprofessional here. Let me just walk out, And then Ronda grabs him by the arm, hits him in an armbar, and then just basically just sort of twists the arm, and then Adam sells the arm. And that's it in the segment. Ronda walks off, and Adam is holding his arm in pain. We go backstage again to Sami Zayn, who is still set up for the party later on. Sami gets a delivery of these roses from somewhere. These roses are black roses, which is very odd. He smells them, and they smell off. They're very foul, vile. It says there's a sign, like a little sign on them, that says TikTok. So it's from carrying cross, assumedly. Following from that, we get Hit Row in a match against the Maximum Male Models. Mansoor, Marseille, my boys are finally back for their in-ring debut against Hit Row. So we have Ashante Adonis and Top Dollar against Marseille and Mansoor. Hit Row are accompanied by B-Fab, and the male models are accompanied by Max and Maxine Dupree. This match is very basic, but I'll go through the notes I have here. So I said models enter to fantastic catwalk music, which is, if you hear it, and you know what it sounds like. It's music you would very typically associate with a catwalk, Milan, Paris, that sort of thing, like these catwalks, these fashion shows. But Hit Row get the upper hand, start things off with a drop kick, which sends Mansoor and Martin to the outside. Immediately, we get interference from Los Lothaриos, Humberto, and Garza, both of which ignore Maxine, who's clearly infatuated with him in some way. But they go try to chat to B-Fab, who isn't interested whatsoever in them. Get back to the ring, we've got Marseille, who's doing a runway walk on Ashante's spine, which looked pretty neat. Then we get the hot tag to Top Dollar, who comes in. He clears house, and then we go on to the heavy hitter, which is their tag finisher of a dropkick into a backdrop. That gets the pin on Mansoor. After this, we get the models and Lothaриos attacking Hit Row, which then prompts the Speed Profits to come out, and they help Hit Row clear house. We then get from there an interview with Happy Corbin, who just says how he's down about the recent results, but he doesn't live in the past. He will issue an open challenge, which he claims he will win against whoever answers it. So we go straight to the ring, where Corbin's in the ring, waiting for his challenger, for the open challenge, and out comes Shinsuke Nakamura. Instantly, the camera's on Pat, who's already excited. He's not telling you what, he's dancing. He's dancing away. But into the match itself, Shinsuke has control for the majority of this. Corbin's getting a little offense in. There is a spot where Corbin counters a Kinshasa into a deep six. But the ending sequence of the match has Corbin going for the end of days, which is then reversed. Then Shinsuke backs up towards the corner. Corbin runs at him. Corbin slides under the ropes, goes round the corner, in back into the ring, and then runs into Kinshasa for free. And then we keep back to McAfee dancing again. After this match, we go into the next match, but I've written the next segment down next because it's a bit awkward otherwise. So we have Corbin walking backstage when a limo pulls up next to him. It's revealed it's JBL's, because at the start you see the Longhorn cow skull thing on the front of the car, which is very JBL associated. And then you hear JBL's voice saying, "Hey, what the hell happened? Get in." And then Corbin gets in the limo with JBL. And that was that. So we go on to the next match itself. We get Butch and Ludwig Kaiser. This, for me, was the best match of the night. This, I mean, and that's not me saying much, but this is the best match of the night for me. So firstly, we got Butch, who's in Pete Dunne gear. So he's wearing the Pete Dunne leotard underneath the flat cap and the jacket. But he's in Pete Dunne gear, which I think is a good sign for what comes in the future. So we got a lot of tactical mat work here, a lot of strikes, and a lot of different things and like holds done. So we get a lot of joint manipulation from Butch, which gets a reference from Cole on commentary saying about the old Butch. We get more open strikes. We get the little paintbrush strikes that Ludwig does. We get a few spots on the outside where Butch attempts a flying tackle from the apron onto Ludwig, but he's caught by a European uppercut. We then get Butch with some mounted neck punches, which followed by a stomp onto the neck on Ludwig. We get Ludwig hitting a back suplex and getting a 2 count, but the ref did count 3 because mistakes they happen. We get an insecurity from Butch, which is ripped by an uppercut, which is then met with Butch gets the kick to Ludwig's head. We get Kaiser reversing a run at him with a tilt-a-whirl suplex, so just like a grab him, slam him sort of thing. We then get Butch, who has hand control, and he does the whole that, and then like the whole like finger twist and break. He goes for that, and then he's caught like basically in Ludwig's sort of like hammerlock DDT sort of thing, but he grabs onto Ludwig's hand, does the whole leg thing, the arm thing again, the hand thing again, and then he hits a bitter end with a 3 count. I've probably not done the match justice, but this is definitely something to watch and potentially could be match of the night, match of the week even. Sorry. Yeah, we move on again to the final segment of the show, where we have Sami Zayn with the Usos backstage, where basically they argue again, Jay and Sami, about how how Sami is again being too comfortable. He's not blood. And then Jimmy says that it's not about them, it's about Roman. They agree and they go out there. So we cut to the ring where the Usos and Sami enter. Sami's dancing. The Usos are holding their fingers up because they're the ones. Sami then says in the ring, when they're in the ring, to the Usos to check if they're okay with him hosting, because he says he doesn't want to get too comfortable, and then looks at Jay, who says he's being too comfortable. And then Sami goes to talk, saying for 2 years, and then Jay cuts him off, saying for 2 years we've had Roman Reigns, being like the champion and hosting and being like the face of Smackdown and WWE in general. Every time Jay says something, we get a random word of affirmation from Sami. So Jay says one thing, and then Sami goes preach, and then Jay says something else. Sami says bet. Jay says another thing. And then Sami goes yeet. Jay says something else, and then Sami says that's right, and then Jay says one more thing, and then Sami says 100. And at this point, they just cut him off and say, hey, "Come on, dude, what are you doing?" After this, we get a video on the Titantron of a car turning up in the arena. It's Roman Reigns. He's in his car. He comes out the car. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to celebrate 2 years, Claymore." Literally out of nowhere, he's kicked in the face by a Claymore or a big boot or something. It's basically revealed as just a boot to the face of Roman. And then it's revealed it's Drew. Drew looks very angry. Roman is apparently out from a one single kick to the face. So he leaves him and he goes towards the ring. His music plays. You get the Usos egging Sami to go ahead and fight Drew. Sami leaves the ring. He gets headbutted for shovels and he's out. And then Drew comes forward, goes to the Usos, beats them up. And the rest of the segment is just Drew smash. That's all it is, pretty much. And then he gets a promo after that little beatdown saying he will never ever stop beating up the Bloodline, that the carnage will never end, and that he will be the new undisputed champion. And that's how you end SmackDown. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was good, despite some of the lacking stuff, but there was no women's matches, so I don't know how you guys thought about that. But I don't know, it was a good show, despite that. But yeah, I'll pass you on back to the guys now. Enjoy.
Transition back. Thanks very much for that, DP. So let's get into our live experiences from Clash at the Castle. So obviously, all three of us were down there. Sadly, not all sitting together, though Frozzy and I managed to get tickets together. Right, it was at a different bit of the arena, so we had different perspectives and views from the ring. I'll pop some photos up now to let you see them. But yeah, incredible show. So bear in mind we couldn't hear the commentary, but we'll run through our experiences at the show. But I'll hand the reins over to Ray. We'll go through match by match and we'll just kind of chime in our experience as we go.
Okay, yeah, I'm not prepared at all for this. So yeah, we kicked off with a pre-show match, which normally we don't really speak about the pre-show at all, but we were there, so we saw it. Which was this wasn't announced, so it was just like entrance by entrance. So you had the Street Profits and Madcap Moss versus Alpha Academy and Austin Theory. And this match, like people were saying on the Discord, like it was decent. Like it was just an average kind of tag match, but the crowd were proper into it just because it's the first match they're seeing at Clash. And like obviously they did like ridiculous spots like the Doomsday flipping clotheslines and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a decent matchup. Just to get everyone going. And the Profits, I believe, picked up the win. But yeah, already like 2.5. Decent, good match. Start.
Yeah, everyone was over. Like,
yeah,
even Riddick Moss got quite a lot of like favourable reaction from the crowd, and like you don't realise how actually fast and powerful he is when he's running until you're actually looking at the ring as he's like literally yo-yoing back and forth.
Yeah,
like, it was. I remember saying to you, Frost, like just watching, like I can't believe how fast he actually is.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure you even mentioned it to me while we were watching the match.
Right, yeah.
It was good.
And obviously, from there went into the trios match from that point.
Yeah, which was slightly awkward at the start because Damage Control, well, they're called Damage Control now, but obviously none of us had heard their music before, so it was just like, and obviously because we were so far away, like the music made no sense to us. But yeah, so it's Bianca, Alexa, and a person. Oscar, that's the one, versus Damage Control, Kai Sky, and I can never forget that Kai Sky, it so perfectly works, and Bailey. Yeah. So obviously everyone in the UK loves Bailey. And she can't get away from a chance of hey, we want some Bailey, and the other one, which is will you be my girl? And it just was continuous.
So that chant originated from Raw in Glasgow in 2015, and I'd been saying, I even put on Twitter, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp had posted, what's your favourite wrestling memory? Mine was being at Raw in 2015, singing Hey Bailey. Who knows, we might start it again. Now, I'm not taking credit for it by any means, but I was one of the first voices like chiming in with it. The second I heard it, I was like, yes, let's get it.
Yeah, because you said it, and then I remember turning to you and be like, no way, they're actually doing it. And then, it just went nuts from there.
And it was brilliant because of her reaction, because I think she must have expected something would be happening, but it was just like she was going like, and then it was like, I actually need to be a heel. But she played off it really well. Like, I'm guessing after the tag match she kept tagging out because she knew it would get the boos and stuff like that.
That's what I loved about the dynamic. When we did it the first time, it was to drown out Charlotte and show our love for Bailey. When we did it this time, it was purely to wind Bailey up.
Yeah.
That's what made it great.
And like Oscar got a massive reaction as well. Like out of the entrances, like Bianca was kind of middle-ish, Bless was about middle-ish, and then Oscar's was a rampage of it's Oscar. But yeah, overall the match was really good as well. I can't remember my rating for it at all, but I'm sure I rated it 3 3/4 or something silly like that because I really enjoyed it, and I think it was just the atmosphere really helped with it.
The atmosphere made the whole show, and there was only one match where the atmosphere was dead for me, and we'll get to it. But yeah, give me a British crowd over an American one every day of the week and twice on a Sunday.
Yeah, agreed. Like, we were right up there with a Canadian crowd. Like, so the only thing I can compare it to is remember when King used to call Canada Bizarro World? Whenever they did a Raw up there, or the Raw after WrestleMania, that's what that felt like. Is that kind of environment? It was just
literally, I was just about to say it was like a Raw after Mania vibe. It was so good.
Yeah. So obviously Bailey picked up the win with Io Shirai doing the moonsault, and then no, she did the rose plant, then the moonsault, and then Bailey picked up the win. So she's beat the champion. So obviously it's going to be a future thing, which is going to be good.
Yeah. And then we got the greatest wrestling match I have ever witnessed live in person.
Yeah, I will absolutely go with that. Because it was fantastic.
My match of the night, I think I rated 4.75, so it didn't hit 5, I'm sorry.
You've seen a lot more wrestling live, though, than we have.
Yeah. I've never rated anything 5 live, if that helps. So I feel like I'm going to get advertised there because I said 5 live. But yeah, I've never rated it, but yeah, that's close. It was insane. The amount of abuse Sheamus took and then delivered.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved the fact that they just stood completely still, staring at each other until the bell rings, as their guys are just ping-ponging back and forth, brawling over the place. Eichner is backing in Imperium, because not only did we get his return, obviously he's still Giovanni Vinci, which I'm okay with. He's shown in NXT what I'd seen of him as Giovanni Vinci. His money, he'll work well on the main roster. He'll be fine.
Yeah. But you couldn't change him back without changing the other two neither.
Yeah.
So he had to stay as he was.
But yeah, just having him back as Imperium again is brilliant. Yeah. And as I say, it was all about the respect to the ring itself and the fight, which they did not break their gaze until the bell rang, and then it was just off they went. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's fair, you have to mention that Pete Dunne got a massive reaction as well. They knew to get him in the ring first out of the three of them, just so he could get that build-up reaction, which was really nice.
And the huge cruiserweight chance.
Yeah, Sully was loving it. It wasn't just scrappy do this time. It was genuinely, he loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but yeah, the match was incredible. Yeah, these spots. The only thing that let it down slightly for me, and probably that's why I didn't get it, is the 2 power bombs kind of looked very too protective for me. Because obviously Sheamus has a bad back in general, and it could nearly ruin his career. But they were just very flat power bombs.
Yeah, I feel that he could have just avoided power bombs altogether and just did his lariats.
Yeah, because that lariat killed him.
Killed me as well, mate. I was miles away from it.
Yeah, we were properly up in the nosebleeds, as you'll see from the photos, but we could still hear every chop.
Yeah.
And the 13 or 14 beats of the Bowery he did over the barricade. Oh.
Yeah.
Gunther's reaction was that's why I please stop.
Someone jokingly said in one of the servers we were at a good while ago that RGX just likes big meaty I'll start that again. RGX just likes big sweaty men slapping meat, and after watching that match, I am gonna roll with that gimmick. Right.
I am that guy.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was everything I could want in a wrestling match. I didn't have a wrestling hold until about 15 minutes into it.
It's what you expected, though. That match, it couldn't let anyone down because it was just Sheamus is a brute and Gunther is Gunther.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, which made me feel a little bit sad for Liv and Shayna trying to follow that up.
Yeah.
It was whatever went here, it was going to be difficult, I think.
I think the trouble as well is it didn't do much. Say if that match started, the Shayna Liv match, it didn't do much that match anyway to get a vibe. Like already like 2.5, it was just very average. Not the same old. Yeah.
It didn't help they had the least amount of time on the card as well by a good margin. I think they only went about 7 minutes.
Yeah, but it was extremely dead as well. So I think if it carried on, it would have just got worse. I feel bad for saying that. It was just quite dead.
And Shayna, sorry, go on.
No, it just felt like there was no need for it to be there. It's just unnecessary in the end because of all the other matches getting all the hype that they got. I know you have to have a bit of a breather as a crowd, but it was harsh on them because it wasn't bad.
Yeah, like what they should have done is they should have had like a dewdrop against her or a Nikki Ass. At least it's a UK-based wrestler, so it might have got a bigger reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I find almost baffling about the show booking. Like, obviously, I've got my Worlds Collide video coming out at some point this week. It is on the docket for the B-Show. I've got it reviewed. I just need to find time to actually record it. But obviously, Nikki and Dewdrop were on that card instead of being at Cardiff, and I don't understand that decision.
I thought there's more British people on that card than there was in the because you had Pretty Deadly, Tyler Bate, Blair Davenport, Ash and Dewdrop. So they were all on the World Collide.
filmed in Orlando.
Yeah.
Could have had that as a pre-show. Just had that show.
Yeah,
would have happily if the show started at like 4:00 and they filmed Worlds Collide first. I would have happily gone along for that.
Yeah, I'd have paid a bit more for it as well.
Yeah, I was also like really not expecting, but and hopeful is a very strong word that we'd probably get a Charlotte return to set up a match against the winner, but I'm probably saving that for SmackDown or closer to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. Like I didn't mind the match, and if I watched that on a normal TV show, I'd be quite happy that I'd seen it. But yeah, just here, it just didn't seem to sit right.
Yeah, it was just an average contest for me. That's why, with a banger of a show, then that I feel bad. Yeah.
And then Liv went over. So
yeah, and Shayna took the Oblivion on the top of her head instead of like a face plant bump.
Like a champ.
So, obviously, we had the most over man literally in Britain that night. Up next, with Judgment Day against Edge and Rey Mysterio. Like, I don't know how it came across at home, but in the stadium, like that was the loudest pop like I've ever heard in my life. Was Edge's entrance. Everyone singing Metal Ingots at the top of their lungs was just incredible.
Yeah.
He loved it as well, didn't he? Like, he was bouncing around. Like, I'm guessing he expected to get a big reaction, but not like flipping what's happening.
I don't think he was expecting a bigger reaction when he got in Canada.
Yeah. He's now British, that's what it is. We've claimed him.
Yeah. Sir Edge.
Thing is, we've not got this. Sorry.
It was incredible. It was incredible. It was just like, it's one of them moments when you sit back and you'll see it back on TV because we'll all watch it again and it'll just be like, I was there when that happened for Edge. It was insane. I loved it.
Yeah, and what's funny as well is obviously the Judgment Day are coming out to Alter Bridge as well. So it's a weird. It's just suddenly like Metal England and then more Alter Bridge. It's like a concert.
Which I'm alright with. I'm a huge
Yeah.
Alter Bridge fan.
And it's weird as well because Finn was the only not UK, well, he's Irish, but he didn't get any reaction really as the judge, just a booey reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, he literally got booed.
Yeah.
What I find really funny was when I got home, I was explaining to my wife how awesome it was to hear Edge's music live, and she's like, "We've been and seen Alter Bridge. You've seen them play the song live." I was like, "Baby, this is different."
Yeah.
This is the real world.
The guy coming out, going absolutely crazy because we're all going crazy. It was so good.
Yeah, and to be fair, like even the match was very good as well. Like a very enjoyable match. Some of the spots, like Edge doing a 619, just a great match.
What I did find funny is he could have fell back through the ropes after he hit it. wasn't
You
a
can tell he
smooth,
doesn't do it all the time.
yeah, wasn't a smooth transition out of it, but kudos for doing it anyway.
And I kept going on with my nephew. I kept going like I said at the start of this match. Obviously, spoilers to what we're about to get to. That I think the Judgment Day is going to win because Fingy's going to turn, and then it really didn't happen. And then obviously we'll discuss it. But yeah, the match you're very good. Like read it 3 1/4, and the finish I really enjoyed. Just like the 619 into like the most brutal spear I've seen in ages from Edge.
Yeah,
he loved it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was very surprised at like Dom helping them so much.
Yeah.
And obviously what happens. So I might as well just talk about it now.
It was a good turn, I'm going to be honest. It was a very, like, the way they did it, like him absolutely punching Edge, like punching in the balls.
The thing is, the thing is, with it, anywhere else that had happened, I would have got the Kevin Dunn boo button, but there's no way he could have covered the huge roar of yes. He did it. Even though it was our hero that we were all singing his song like 15 minutes beforehand, we couldn't celebrate any harder that Dom had finally turned.
Yeah,
and it's the way he did it. Like he booted them balls, and Edge's reaction was just like.
like a tree falling down.
And everyone was literally going, Mysterio was going, "Why are you doing this? Why?" And everyone was going, hit him. Hit your dad. And he clotheslined his head off. Like that was a good clothesline.
It was almost mirror image of Batista turning on Ray. Like, you know, that you were supposed to be my friend turn. Like mirror image, even as far as position in the ring.
And the builds of both guys. Massive.
I watched a side by side, and it was like almost picture perfect replica.
Yeah, like the best thing that Dom's ever done.
So what you're saying is it Mysterio's fault that he should have recognised in that perfect position that he's going to get clotheslined?
Hold on, I've been here before.
And this is where he
was having Dave Jarvu, is what he was having.
Oh god. But yeah, good turn. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was needed. So
obviously we had the Riddle and Ray up next. Riddle and Rollins.
I was that glorious this weekend.
Rollins, obviously from our angle we couldn't tell what the heck he was wearing because obviously we were pretty much above the ramp.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until he was halfway down we were like, what the F is he wearing?
Yeah.
Because he didn't
Rocket Man, weren't it? Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have it up on the screens either because they had his entrance playing until he was taking them off as it's Rocket Man wings.
But yeah, the reaction for Rollins was incredible as well. It's more the song, but also Rollins is loved in the UK, as a character. My nephew hated him, and it ruined his nights, but I loved it. It made no sense to him.
I was very surprised this wasn't a false count anywhere or no disqualification match.
They're saving it, aren't they?
it was a brutal match. So what they had managed to do within the confines of the rules was really well done.
Yeah,
and that
it was a very enjoyable match. Like, there's a lot of decent spots in this one as well. I feel like the whole night had a lot of decent spots in. But then we had it was Riddle who hit the go to sleep on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh wow, we've seen that. I just didn't expect it.
Bro to sleep, innit? That's what he calls it. Yeah, bro to sleep. Yeah.
But the second rope stomp was so cool. I don't think Rollins has ever done that.
I thought he was going to miss. I'm going to be honest. I thought that was going to be a miss. How long it took. But yeah, killed a Riddle. Killed him.
Yeah. Very good match.
Yeah. Very good match. I said that was my second. That would probably be my second match of the match of the night. It'd probably go that Rollins and Gunter Rollins and then the main. Very good matches all over.
Yeah.
So
I'd give it a solid 3 3/4, nearly 4-star match. The Riddle match.
So as a proud Scot, I had high hopes that Drew would win. Obviously, I hedged my bets in certain weeks when it came to predictions. I'm not going to say that I intentionally top-blocked Roman to throw it, but I was very surprised and that turned out to be the case. But with his entrance, I've been saying to Frozzy and you guys in the build-up that my only hope for the show, if nothing else, is we get to hear Broken Dreams. And it was absolutely brilliant kind of entrance.
Yeah.
I know it resorted back to Gallantry again, and we may never hear Broken Dreams in WWE again, but it was still good to hear it, and that the package they played along with it with all his memories of his debut and everything was all really cool and well done. And made you think he was gonna win.
Yeah. They did everything they physically could to make you believe he was going to win.
And Reigns' entrance is just over as always, even though he takes 10 minutes to walk down the ramp. Everyone was still standing on their feet, just hoping they could see him. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple next to me. There was a young kid and their mom, and literally everyone else was booing him, and they were just there for the whole time. It was like watching Only Lorcan. Just like when he used to do that in NXT. That's all I can remember. A little picture. He was like that for the whole show.
Yeah, his entrance is so good. Even if it does take 10 years to get it done, it's over and it works. And I do still like Roman Reigns. I still like this Roman Reigns. People are getting tired of him. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not.
We've been crying out for something like this for ages, and now we're getting it, and people are complaining.
The Bruno Sammartino, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you want it until you get it, and then you don't want it anymore. Tough.
What I will say is I'm starting to get bored of him holding both titles.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
whichever show he doesn't appear on suffers.
Uh-huh.
So I think they do need to split the titles again sooner rather than later. But Roman can still continue to hold one of them right through to WrestleMania and have his match with The Rock, beat The Rock, and then drop it to someone on Raw after Mania. Gunther, maybe.
I hope if he goes into the match with The Rock, he's not champion. Because I feel it becomes too obvious. Yes, he's probably going to win anyway, but don't go in as champion because that just gives it away totally in your biggest matches.
Yeah, unless you have Rock cost him the title in a run-up to the match.
Because I think Rhodes is going to get a title shot at some point, because they're building him so much, Rhodes.
That's why I'm thinking they're going to split the title sooner rather than later, because they want Reigns and Rock at Mania 39 in LA. Obviously, a Cody Rhodes Rumble win. He needs a world champion opponent for Mania, so So I'm
If
thinking,
they're gonna have The Rock screw Reigns out of the title, it needs to happen at Rumble. It can't happen the pay-per-view before Mania because whoever wins the title is then not going to lose it at Mania.
Yeah.
yeah, fair.
So yeah, they need to be careful how they book it, but it needs to happen a few shows before Mania.
Triple H and I trust, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. He'll get it right.
He'll win the title. I'll be like, oh no.
Yeah, I was going to say he'll win it.
So we are putting the cart before the horse a little bit because we've still not finished the main event here. But
What main event?
so tangent aside, as you said, and right, you're quite right. They did everything possible to make us think that Drew was going to win this. The chants from the crowd, though, were incredible. From Drew McIntyre to "Who are you?" chants at Roman Reigns whenever he has to be acknowledged.
So British.
McIntyre like going,
And Roman is a wanker. Like, all the classics that you would hear at a football game were
yeah.
right at it. It was brilliant.
Yeah. And like it was proper Rock versus Austin vibe, not Rock, but Rock versus Hogan vibe at the start as well. Like the boos, the reigns, and like the cheers, and he was just staring like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
Very good.
He didn't know what to do, did he? Poor Roman.
Well,
I
he
think
knew what to do.
Yeah, he played it incredibly well. Like, I remember saying to you during the match, like, a couple of years ago, we were all booing Roman because we wanted him to go away. Now we're all booing Roman because he's bloody good at his job.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool match though. My heart was in my stomach for a moment when I saw that he was cashing in, because as soon as they said that Tyson Fury was going to be there, I was like, oh god, they're going to like, Drew's going to win and Tyson's going to knock Drew out after the match to set up the cash in.
Yeah.
It did influence the cash in, but it was to stop Theory cashing in. Just knocked him out cold.
Yeah,
So good.
it blew my mind because I completely forgot he was there, and then just I saw someone stand up and knock him out. It took me 5 seconds to realize, oh, it's Fury there, isn't it?
That wasn't
Who's this guy that's clamped Fury?
And that wasn't a working punch.
He full on clocked him. Like,
Fury died.
When we review Raw in a minute, Theory plays this off very, very well.
Yeah, he's like all his jaw the entire time.
Yeah.
And fair play to him. Theory probably told him that nobody's going to believe if a boxer's pulled his punch for a wrestler. Weigh it in, I can take it.
Yeah.
So
He took it, or us.
yeah.
He had no choice, mate.
It's happening.
But in all this, and everyone speculating that it's going to be Tyson Fury that causes the decision in the match, we get a different hooded figure, like going to hop the barricade and distract Drew for Roman to hit the spear for the victory. And much to my chagrin, even though I've been asking for it for months and months and months, the third Uso, Solo Sikoa, has been called up to the main roster to join the Bloodline, which I said should have happened months ago, but why did they choose Saturday to do it?
Because Jay and Jimmy are not allowed in this country.
Yeah,
It's solely the reason. It probably wouldn't happen otherwise.
No, part of me hopes it would have happened anyway, or at least he shows up in Raw if the Usos could have made it.
Yeah, I think it would have been the Raw, yeah.
But yeah, of all the nights, the thing I want to happen happens. It's the wrong night for me.
Yeah.
Right, just for what I wanted, not for story-wise. Story-wise, it works perfectly, but
Yeah. It was the only way to make it believable that Roman wins.
yeah, especially when he's there on his own.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or not, as it is.
Roman forever.
But that wasn't even the end of the show.
It was for me. I was gone by then.
Yeah, for some reason, and it turns out this aired as well. I thought this was just dark match stuff.
Yeah, same.
Tyson Fury tries to cheer up Drew by serenading him.
To American Pie.
Yeah, American Pie in Cardiff. And that gets followed up by Drew asking if Tyson knows Sweet Caroline, and Tyson doesn't. Because
only knows the chorus. Only knows the chorus.
Yeah, it's fair, most people.
So they end up singing bloody Oasis instead. And
you were fuming.
Friends and family who know me know that I cannot stand Oasis.
We still need to put that up.
I am a Blur fan. Like, I picked my side. Like, and generally, I can't stand the Gallagher brothers. I think they're thugs. I don't think they've got any talent at all. Like, Noel maybe has a little bit of songwriting talent, but he can't sing. He can't play guitar.
That is a take.
Yeah. Well, my wrestling gimmick was Liam Gallagher. Look, that was my wrestling gimmick.
Damien Albarn has more talent in his pinky than both the Gallagher brothers combined.
Meh. That's my response. That's my rebuttal. Meh. We still need to put that poll up for Corey McRae in the video where he said my top 3 versus his top 3 is stacked, which is silly. And mine has Oasis in, so it's clearly going to get voted down by you already.
True. But that wasn't the only surprising thing that made it to here. Obviously, when we thought it was dark, the camera cut to a gentleman wearing a Better Dad Than Benoit t-shirt. And when I shared that little factoid in one of the servers I'm in, I was informed that did indeed make here. So God knows what Kevin Dunn was thinking. Or if Kevin had already left thinking they were dark, but oof.
Yeah.
That's a rough one to show on TV.
Yeah, you don't show that. He either wants to be sacked, I think.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if you try and go back and watch it now. It's been cut, but it was definitely on the live feed.
Yeah, it's just out there. It's very out there.
Good grief. And now he's serenaded on Twitter, this guy. He's got his own Twitter handle and everything.
Yeah, he properly went for it, and it's now his entire personality is I'm the guy who wore that t-shirt.
I mean, if you're bold enough to wear the t-shirt in the first place, you're bold enough to do stuff like that, aren't you? So
goes to show as well how lax the security was going in, because normally when you go to a WWE event, like if you're wearing a t-shirt from another company, you're told to turn your t-shirt inside out. Your bags are fully checked, like everything. So there was very little security going in. I didn't even have my title bag checked because I had my...
Yeah, I was going to say, you had your bag with you and it didn't get checked.
Yeah, I even walked through the baggage claim bit with my bag open and the title sitting in it, and he just never even looked at it.
No.
So, yeah. That was Clash. Obviously,
it was very good.
This isn't the platform for chatting about our travel issues and stuff on either side of it. This is all about our live experience of the show itself. But yeah, so off the back of that, we had Monday Night Raw.
Wonderful. I blitzed this, but it was decent. It wasn't a bad Raw. So we kick off with good old Edge. So Edge is down, and he's obviously a bit miffed about some guy kicking him in the balls. So he's basically, his whole stick is that he's just trying to help the guy. But now you get down to the ring because I'm going to beat your ass. So then obviously Ray comes down and he's going to try and make Dom apologise, blah, blah, blah. And then Rhea comes through the entrance and basically says that they've made Dom better. And it's kind of like she made him into a man, which was a bit of okay. And then Dom comes out and he just doesn't look right to me. I don't know what. It's just like they've greased his hair back.
No, it's to make him look like Rhea. He's trying to be Rhea.
It's just odd, isn't it? It's just like an odd look.
You know, next week he's going to have his name changed to Dominic Ripley, right?
Sub Ripley.
The thing is, like, all three of the Judgment Day really look good in a suit or shirt or whatever. He doesn't. He still looks scruffy.
No. So I feel bad for mentioning this now, but we kind of skipped over it at Clash. He shouldn't have removed his shirt at Clash, by the way, if anyone noticed.
Yeah.
He's got the my body, and I'm not a professional wrestler, you know. It's kind of like, that's why you should, like, it kind of lost the appeal to me, because he pulled it off and it was just like, oh. Okay. I would expect him just to be a bit ripped or something like that. But no, nothing has been worked on there. We'll move past that now. But yeah, so then Dominique's with Rhea, and then the Judgment Day clock Edge from behind. They absolutely obliterate Edge, like bathroom down. Poor Edge. He went from the highs of Clash to getting kicked in the balls, and now he's getting beaten down by the Judgment Day.
You know, the smartest decision they've made with this, turning him formally joining on Raw, didn't make him speak. Because he can't speak anyway. But
yeah.
But yeah, the fact there's no promo explaining his actions, I appreciate.
Probably for the best. Rhea Ripley, carry on.
Yeah, let him never explain his actions. Let Rhea do all the talking for him.
Yeah, she's the mouthpiece. And it works so well for him.
Mm.
Then this is followed by the Miz backstage. He doesn't want to talk about it, just to confirm. And then out of nowhere, it's not explained, there's a flipped car. So they just walk past like, what's this? And then that's it. I don't think it's mentioned again, is it?
No, but you can see the crane that flipped it in the background.
You mean
confuses it more?
We think it is?
Yeah, right. That's where that big truck was with a big arm from it, was the crane that flipped the car.
Confuses it more. They left the evidence that who fly, yeah. This was followed by a I can't think of the words, how you call it, like a 4-way tag match. Is that the best way of saying it? Not an 8-man tag, 4-way tag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Profits versus the Los Safarios versus the New Day versus the Alpha Academy. So it started with the New Day clearing house. I was surprised the Viking Raiders wasn't around for this. They just kind of disappeared from that, weirdly.
Yeah, what I really love about this as well is the very first thing Kofi and Xavier did, because they started the match as opponents, was Xavier immediately laid down. Because, of course, if Kofi pinned Xavier, they would win the match. So it was
they've done it a few times, New Day, like they do that tag kind of thing, but it is a smart tactic. So yeah, they cleared house, and then Otis did a Judas effect. I'm throwing that out here. He did the best Judas effect I've seen.
Okay,
it looked like it killed a man. Ford was doing like a few rolling spots at this point going around. Obviously, Chad Gable was looking great as usual with his ankle locks and his thing. I'm going to hype Chad Gable every week. Man's great.
As you should.
And then out of nowhere, Raw! So here comes Braun Strowman.
Yeah, explains the flipped car.
Oh, yeah. The flipped car that he lifted onto the crane and then lifted the crane handle over. He didn't use the crane. But yeah, Braun. So, surprisingly, I rated this 2 3/4. I was enjoying the match, but surprisingly after this, Braun Smash. Everything got smashed. He killed everyone. He brought it back. And then he slipped.
It was the one thing he didn't need to bring back with him, was the lame choo-choo thing. But
and then he slipped, didn't he? When he slipped, and then he still was going to kill Thingy through the apron anyway.
Yeah, like Chad. I thought Chad had just got out the way of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
But it turns out that was the bump he took from.
But yeah, so Braun's back. I don't mind, I'm going to be honest. If he introduced him well, and I've already forgot. To be fair, with the Control Your Narrative, he was like kind of like a side piece of that annoyance. He was just there. So it's not.
He was the draw, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just the name there, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I think that I don't even think he even thought into anything of it. I think he just saw it as character work. I thought
reason for he did, yeah.
Well, he always said, didn't he, that he wasn't going to sign for anyone else if he wasn't with WWE. I mean, yeah, that was a bit crap, but he didn't really do anything major there. So
No,
get it
and
even
yeah, like I'm glad he got rid of his terrible hair that he had in Control. You know, he's like the spikes, and I'm going to give him a chance because it looked good, and he speaks later, and that kind of got me hyped.
better
For
than
Braun.
Omos.
Yeah,
100%.
Omos is now gone.
Yeah.
I told you it would be disappeared, but
Nah,
maybe slightly off.
WrestleMania.
I'm
Slightly off.
saying, it was only a couple months.
Okay, I'm going to say right now that let's go with Chad Gable's going to be gone at some point in life. There you go. I'll be right at some point.
No, but Omos isn't the only one. The only giant is Thanos out of existence. Fears pretty much. Like he's had like one match in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, Veer! God, I forgot he existed. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Veer. Fair enough. Veer was a thing. Colonel of Thieves as well.
He was more over when he wasn't on the show. And he just kept playing them vignettes.
Triple H does like big sweaty men as well, but he prefers big sweaty men that can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Braun Smash, and then we went from we had Rakia, of which I've called them Rakia versus Doudrop Ash, because I was trying to write my notes really quickly. Aaliyah was getting absolutely battered. And Raquel did the save, and then she won the match. That was my rating of that. Yeah, 1.5.
The Tahana bomb to Doudrop was sort of impressive. If it wasn't for the fact she nearly dropped her because she was bent too far back.
Yeah.
Like Doudrop had to do a lot of work to try and post as much as she could do because she just didn't have her in the right position.
It's stale now already. It sounds weird, but that tag team's stale to me already because it's just Aaliyah getting battered and Raquel winning the match. There's not been a different, except for the roll up, but that was also Aaliyah getting battered. Then we were backstage with Mysterio, and he wants to discuss it with Dom in private, and he's gonna have a one-on-one match with someone later on in the night. Anyone from the Judgment Day that's not Rhea Ripley or Dom. So either Priest or Balor. Which they should have answered this with Ripley fighting him. That would have been great. But yeah, she said unlike what culture and stuff like that, the network won't allow it. Like an intergender match, which I'm quite sad about.
Yeah.
He should have just done it so he gets no offense and she just batters him.
Thing is, like Ray's the perfect wrestler to do that way because strikes aren't part of his arsenal, apart from maybe a leg kick.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Rhea's going to get punched in the face or anything.
It's not like she's going against Gunther. Jesus.
Jesus.
I
really want to see that match now.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good match, to be honest.
I don't know what to say, but yeah, me too.
That'd be a good indie match, that would. Followed by, we had Theory do an interview. This was definitely not on purpose, was it? Him calling it Crown Jewels. There's no way that he called it Crown Jewels on purpose.
He's selling the Fury's concussed it.
Right.
It was so easy. And then he just was going on about it and he kept messing up and stuff, so obviously he had the concuss. Then here comes KO, exactly KO here as well, but before he made the joke, and it made me feel good. I went up because I was right KO, and he went, "You got KO'd?"
Yeah, he just thought of it.
Yeah. And then Kevin Owens goes on about, "You found your first name?" And it's like...
I also love the fact he was like, now this is normally the bit where someone says, right, let's stop, it's about, and start, oh, that's me, let's stop talking and fighting.
And then a ref slides in.
Tell Drake he should have ran faster.
This was probably my match of the night. It was between this and I did enjoy the main. But yeah, Kevin Owens versus Theory. KO smash for Heartlock the majority of the start. Then Theory tried to wear down Kevin Owens. There's a few knees outside. Theory did like a tilt-a-whirl bomb, which I really enjoyed seeing. Then there was a proper horrible stair bump. Like, there's no way he could have not hit his head on the corner of that stairs.
It looked that way, but he spread his weight quite well. Like I'll rewound it and watched it back, and the way he took it is he was like rolled up his back, so he was able to stop his head Like,
Yeah, because
really,
he needed to.
really, his head never actually touched the steps. Like,
Okay, so that makes me feel better because it looked horrible. Then there was a few back and forths at this point, and then out of nowhere, like Austin Theory got pop-up powerbombed and then stunned out of his shoes, and KO won the match. Right at 3 quarters, enjoyed it.
and Kevin got to stunner Austin again.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
It still bothers me that the Money in the Bank holder loses all the time.
Yes.
I can
Because he's
see
going to win.
I can see him dropping the Money in the Bank case to someone.
Johnny Gargano.
Hope not. Too soon for Gargano.
Tiny Rhodes. And then that's when he cashes in on one title and it works.
Cody, I'd forgive it if it was Cody, but I can't see it being.
Or
I think Cody was.
Well, Cody
he'll drop it to Roman.
Cody was originally meant to win Money in the Bank, if you listen to the reports, so maybe. Yeah.
Or he'll drop it.
He'll win the Rumble, Cody.
Yeah. Or he'll drop it to Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns will have the Money in the Bank, and it'll be like, what's happening? He loses and cashes in instantly, and yeah, it begins again. We had Miz backstage. He was a bit panicked at this point about what was happening, because obviously they kept rushing up at him, and he was like, what? And he didn't want to talk about it. But he's going to be the new US champion. Damage Control came out at this point. They beat the favourites at Clash. Bianca's basically a pretend champion. Then Bianca came down, quickly twirled her hair because she had to do it before she spoke, but then it went back to business. She basically said that Bayley didn't beat her, it took all three of them to beat her, which is technically fair enough, but Bayley did beat her.
Yeah, but it was also 3-on-3, it wasn't a handicap match.
And it's also that she hit the rose plant and then she was out anyway. Bayley probably could have won the match, but it was just insult to injury. So that happened, and then Bianca made the line, which I did like, you've got no championship, so you basically control nothing, which I did like that line. And they're hinting, obviously, that this is going to be a match in the future. And then they do the thing where Bayley steps behind Bianca and then all three of them are around her. Do you think they're going to attack and then they just walk off?
So, speaking of that, like, you control nothing line, I really liked that. But she did the kind of sell, almost like BoJack Horseman of, do you like my joke? Did you get it? Because of the way she was like looking to set up the crowd, like, huh? You control nothing. Like, do you get my joke? Like,
yeah. And then after this, we had good old Johnny Gargano. He was saying a few things which weren't relevant. Then Austin Theory came into shot. He called him Johnny Talking, which I did like at that point. And then Johnny basically said, "You've interrupted perfect time, and I'm actually having a match next week." Ray versus Damien was next. So Ray jump-started because obviously he's a bit pissed at what's happened. Priest just kept cutting him off, though. He kept getting a bit of fire, and Priest was just absolutely slamming him down. Here comes the Judgment Day with chairs. So Rey Mysterio was doing some really good high offense in this, by the way. He pulled out the line sort, which he doesn't normally do often anymore. And like he was doing like his I can't remember his seated like jump press he used to do. I can't remember what he used to call that.
Yeah, I don't know what his last surgery did to his knees, but he's in the best condition. Like, he's been in for years. Like, this is a guy who would have a knee operation every like 4 or 5 months. I think this is his longest, like, touch wood, injury-free streak in his career.
Definitely, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so he's doing very, like I said, his matches have been very good recently, and obviously he's very agile again, which is good to see because it's Rey Mysterio. So he's about to start stuff. I think he's going for the 619, and then Dom stands up on the apron, and obviously it's going to be like the Undertaker Kane thing, where Undertaker's not going to hit him for like a whole 5 months, and then it's going to suddenly happen. And it will be Mask versus something. I feel like this will be the end of Mysterio.
Please be here. Ray wins.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so and then it ended up with Damien into the South of Heaven to pick up the win. Right before he started, enjoyed the match, and then Rhea Ripley did a promo afterwards and basically saying Pappy gets what Pappy wants, which are really just weird and good. It's like, oh yes. Dominic's going to fight Edge next week, crippled Edge. So they made a big thing, but also Edge just got absolutely ravaged at the start of the show.
Yeah.
So Lashley up next. He's going to win his match. That was the old promo for me. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And then we had Strowman. He's back, and he's going to be at Smackdown, so he's not even on a brand yet. He's just going to kill everyone everywhere.
Flipping cars.
Yeah, he's going to turn up on NXT 2.0. That's what I want to say. I'm flipping people up over there. That'll be a good match. Him versus Steiner. Just a full-on horse match. But yeah, and the main. So we had a cage match between Lashley and Miz for the United States Championship. So Miz jump-started, and Lashley grabbed the title and clocked him, and then Ciampa and Lashley absolutely obliterated him outside the ring. Absolute mugging, basically. Miz was in control for a lot of this, but then Lashley kind of went full Lashley Smasher a bit. He was about to climb the cage, and Ciampa was hitting the chair off the cage, which stopped Lashley climbing it. Which is kind of fair enough, because if you catch your hands between a cage and chairs, that's going to be painful. I hate that they're ruining the skull crushing finale now, that he never wins a match with it anymore. Like, it used to be, if he hit that, he would win. But now it's just like another move. He was about to leave, and then Ciampa tried to do a door smash. He missed, but then Miz kind of jumped on top, full on door smashes. And then Miz is climbing out the ring. He's got over the other side, and he looks down. And then you look down, it's the most awkward Loomis I've ever seen in my life. Just like,
it's the best visual I have ever
it's not
seen.
literally not. It's not.
It's so
It might as well have just been waving like that.
Yeah, it's just like a head portrait. And then the Miz is like, oh no. And then he climbs back over. Obviously, he gets hurt locked. I know he got speared. Then he got speared out his shoes. And then Loomis suddenly decides he wants it. He starts climbing. Miz is about to escape from the cage, and Lashley shuts the cage door. And then Loomis does the silencer.
His tender, loving hug.
Yeah, and he's just doing.
And
I love
brushing
Loomis.
his hair after.
Such a good character.
It's the visual. The picture is so unreal. And you can see the Miz looking down at him, and he's just there like.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you see on Raw.
Most people put that standing triangle hold on and like proper wrench and stuff, but no, he just kind of holds and then like goes down to his knees and then like almost is like cuffing him to sleep. Like,
yeah, he doesn't want to do it, but he's got to do it. It feels like it's just like, I'll
It's
protect
just
you. Like, it's going to be fine, but you're going down.
I think it's why it's a silence, because it's like shh, 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 there.
But yeah, that was the end of Raw, and that was the visual we left on.
So yeah, like I thought it was an okay Raw. I didn't really capitalise much on stuff that happened at Clash. And to me, at first I thought, like before I realised, must not be that many of them are fit enough after the long haul flight back to Wales on the Sunday. They've given them a lot of time off, but most of them were there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, a lot of the ones that were there didn't wrestle. They were just like doing promos and stuff. But yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. Like I said, like we're so used to previous Raws being bad, so I'm happy fine is a level now. Like rather than just like, oh, this was absolutely terrible. Veer's just won a title. That's what I'm not going. Where's Veer?
Where is Veer?
Veer is coming.
Again, version 2.
2.0.
Veer 2.0. Oh no.
He's got another one in him.
He just veered off course. He'll be back.
So, what have we got upcoming? So, tomorrow, the B-Show should be out if I find time to record it. As I say, I have got it all reviewed. I just need to get it on camera. On Thursday, we have our rest of our podcast. So this one is split, obviously, where we cover the AEW stuff. So obviously, we normally have a news out on this side. Given the amount of shows we had to cover this week, we've skipped that. But we will cover the AEW stuff on the AEW side of the podcast on Thursday. So rest assured, we're not skipping over it. If anything, we're doing the right thing by waiting till Dynamite airs to see how much, if any, of it's addressed. And there's another big thing happening on Thursday. I, as you may know, have been fundraising for Macmillan Cancer Support to brave the shave. Obviously, my hair is a good length. I have a really long beard. All that goes on Thursday. My shave date is Thursday the 8th of September. The link to get last minute donations is still there. However, we have smashed the goal. We got £410 out of our original goal of £300. So thank you so much to everyone that donated. You will get to see the fruit of your donations this Thursday. So stay tuned for that. Obviously then we'll roll into our normal podcast. Friday, got a merciful day off. Saturday we have Rates Sparkle Saturday. Sunday we've got another DP review. Just lots and lots on the docket. So yeah, stick around. We'll see you tomorrow for the B-Show, hopefully. Do you guys have anything to add for these wonderful people before we let them go?
Just look forward to next week when it's myself and Rate doing all of this. Because it'll be fun times. No, we'll have a good time. You deserve a week off, mate, so.
Everything will be the BB show. Everything will look horrible.
Not at all. I'm sure you guys will nail it. You did well the last time, so you'll be fine this time.
Yeah, you were here to edit though. Now it's just all me.
So links to our socials are in the description. That includes Twitter, Discord, and feel free to follow us at the HCW Show on Twitter. Instagram is coming soon. Working on that backstage at the moment. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all the usual YouTube stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye everyone.
Goodbye.
Holla.